Mr. Udofia.
Mr. Dofia, thank you very much. You see, when you talk about dollar denominated, sales of petroleum products, I think last week, or last 2 weeks, we started hearing that information. However, I want to say that, if you look at the prices at which we are selling petroleum products in Akwa Ibom states and other places in Nigeria, we are not selling it in dollars. And even if you pay to those refineries, maybe like Dangote refinery, for instance, in dollars, it will still come down to or reflect the true nature or the true price at which petroleum products are sold in the filling stations. So that there's absolutely no cause for alarm. Nobody's asking Nigerians, please, as you go to the filling stations, you should pay for your petroleum products in dollars. No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. Of course, before Dangote bring that policy, you are aware that the crude oil at which is using in its refinery, what is having from Nigeria is not sufficient. So it's important. And is it using Nigeria to import crude oil? The answer is no. So that might have influenced that decision that, please, if I buy a petroleum crude oil in dollars, okay, and you're coming to buy my refined my refined products, you should pay in dollars. But I want to say categorically that that is not in any way, does not in any way affect the price at which we are selling petroleum products in our filling stations.
So, as it stands now, are we likely to see more increase in prices going forward? And let's also know how much of this current price increase is linked to the Iran-US crisis.
You see, when you talk about, are we likely to see further increase in petroleum products? I don't know. We are not spirit to know what will happen tomorrow. We are not. I cited an example here that as at Friday last week, we were buying products at 1,190.
Yeah.
As at Monday, we were buying at 1,270. You can see the difference. So, before then, if you look at several filling stations in Akwa Ibom State, the prices of, most especially petrol, which is commonly used here, had come down reasonably. But from Tuesday,
But not below 1,000.
Must it be below 1,000?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it used to be below 1,000 before it went up.
That is another thing altogether. I don't want to measure it by these figures you are flaunting. You see, if proper things or things that we have in Nigeria here were not there, perhaps nobody knows how much we'll be buying petroleum products as at today. I'm very sure it would have maybe exceeded 3,000 naira. I'm very, very sure of that. So that we are buying at above 1,000 naira shows you the reality of what is happening internationally. It is not a Nigerian thing alone. Of course, if you go to other countries, you find out that petroleum products are quite far more expensive than what we are buying in Nigeria. So that we are buying at above 1,000 naira shows you the reality of what is happening in Nigeria. But let me add this. When we talk about price reduction, as at the time we're buying petroleum products at the rate of 100, at maybe 165 or something like that. In fact, I want to say that we're having a negative growth. That is true. Of course, Wana, I know that you have a background of economics, and so you really understand what I am talking about. We're having a negative growth, and the country paid dearly for it. And then we are now buying products at something exceeding 1,000 naira, and we are having a positive growth. Not only a positive growth, we are having um, some semblance of development in the sector. And not only development, we're having stability in the sector. So that shows that, you know, in most cases, you can bring in price modulation to ginger growth, to ginger development. So what we are paying for it, you see, as in fact, to a very large extent, goes to sanitize the sector. Not only sanitizing the sector, the stability in the industry. That's why you can drive into a filling station now and then get your fuel. And even not only driving into a filling station, you have a choice. There are some more customers that they will look at a filling station and tell you, look, the price of that, the measurement of that filling station is not good. They'll move to the next station. And what are you forced to do? You are forced to check your measurement instrument to make sure that it conforms with the standard. Because if not, you are going to lose entire customers. And this is something we are not experiencing before, and we are having it. So when we say are we supposed to buy petroleum product at less than 800, less than this, unless we want to go back to Egypt, then we can do that. But for now, nobody can say with certainty, that this is how much we are going to buy products tomorrow, or this is how much we are going to buy petroleum products next tomorrow. Nobody can predict that.
But if we have the local refineries increasing, can we expect more stable petrol prices?
Exactly. So I did mention here the commencement of this year, this discussion that we are having some form of competition. I mentioned that. And even because of this competition, some marketers are even agitating to bring in products into the country. And then if you bring, and I sit down and if I establish my refinery, I'm going to take advantage of some gaps. What stops me from applying for license and establish a refinery? Just like what is happening, going on now in Akwa Ibom. So I'm very sure in no time we may have, a refinery coming on stream here. That is the beauty.
We've heard that for a very long time, and we don't know when we'll see that.
Well, when you say that, I think because the reaction of putting a refinery in place, it's not something that happens overnight. It's not something that just go to the market, buy and fix. No, it takes time. It's a process, and I'm very, very sure, just as we have said earlier, that as far as competition is concerned, as far as government has hands off on fixing prices of petroleum products, we are going to reap further benefits of that free enterprise, that free market.
By we, you mean the consumers or the marketers? All of us?
I don't understand.
Are we all going to reap the benefits, including us, the consumers?
Are we not reaping now?
Are we? When I say below 1,000 naira, I'm also looking towards, because at the end of the day, what does all of this mean for the ordinary Nigeria who gets to buy petrol?
Let me put it this way. There were times that we have to wait for onward of 2 days before you're able to get maybe 20 liters of petrol. It's happened in this country. Are we experiencing that now? The answer is no. What does that translate, or what does it mean? Is it benefit, negative benefit, or positive benefit? Of course, you can imagine the answer that it is positive. So, and then two, assuming that Dangote was not producing, assuming that government was still fixing prices of petroleum products, I want you to just think. I want you to imagine what would have happened to us, the consumers. It would have been a nightmare. I'm telling you this. It would have been a nightmare. So, but by and large, the policy direction of the government is very, very commendable. Very, very commendable. Very, very commendable.
Well, at the moment, we'll get our listeners to join in the discuss this morning. The numbers to call are 0905 995 1059 and also 0912 777 1059. And our WhatsApp number is 0906 0308705. Feel free to join us right here on the show as we're looking at the petroleum sector this morning. And of course, people are concerned with price fluctuations and how things are changing on a daily. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
I want to, in fact, particularly respond to that caller when he said that government should build more refineries. You see, Nigerian government had about 4 refineries, 2 in Port Harcourt, 1 in Kaduna, and in fact 5 refineries, 2 in Warri. It was a massive failure. What does that show? It shows that government cannot do business. In fact, recently, the governor of Akwa Ibom State, His Excellency Pastor Umoino, PhD, mentioned that, look, it is very difficult for government to do business, and I entirely agree with him. And he's saying that from experience. Government cannot do business. Even if government establish business now, the refinery now, just wait and see the next few years. People will run it aground. That is what we've been experiencing in Nigeria. So the best we can do in this circumstance is to promote free enterprise. And how can you promote free enterprise? It is when you make investing environment to be conducive. When the investing environment is conducive, people will naturally gravitate into that sector and invest. That is exactly what government is encouraging now. So at this point in time, we can never, even IPMAN as an association, we can never encourage government, come and set up refinery. We are not calling for that.
Okay.
We are definitely not calling for that.
All right. Hello.